Wrong button. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be discussing a whole bunch of tips and tricks that I have learned over my many years on Scorched Earth, from the original Ark Survival Evolved over here to Ark Survival Ascended. A lot of the stuff is new to Ark Survival Ascended, which is actually kind of cool. I love the fact that they added a bunch of new stuff to it, but a lot of these do still apply to the original Ark Survival Evolved. So, whichever one you are playing on, some of these tips should either help you out if you're playing on Survival Evolved. But if you're playing on Survival Ascended, then all of these tips will help you out. But yeah, let's talk about the very first one. Cactus Broth, as we get hit by a heat wave. All right, one of the earliest things that you can actually do to help you out in the harsh weather is, well, first off, is you go and you get yourself a cooking pot. I've got Bob selected. All right, so yeah, here at level 8, and you can actually get started on this. Now, what you do is, inside the cooking pot, you go to consumables, you go to crafted foods. Right down here is the Cactus Broth. It is super easy and super simple to do. All it takes is a little bit of berries and some Cactus Broth, and then a little bit of water. All right, let's go like this. Take this, cook this up like this. All right, once you have the Cactus Broth in your inventory, what you can do is this stuff right here, this magical soup, will greatly reduce your water consumption. The aroma of the cactus has a side effect of making the wildlife notice you less, which, while this isn't as good as, say, like wearing a ghillie suit, it is kind of comparable. And this stuff is actually really good. By eating one of these, you'll give yourself a buff that actually lasts for 600 seconds. It's pretty good, and it means it will always fill up your water 100%, and then it'll make it so where your water just goes down really wicked fast. It is pretty good. So, yeah, keep this stuff on hand. It's really good for you. I mean, honestly, it has all the right riboflavin that you need for, going out into the desert. It's really helpful. And also, you can use this stuff for taming mantises and stuff like that, especially combined with a ghillie suit. It makes it really, really effective. All right, and apparently my food is not displaying, but I wanted to show you guys something here as well. There is a, on the island when you're playing, you can actually eat berries for a little bit of food and water. And I'm just trying to run down my food and water here really quick. All right, so what you can do is eat a little bit of berries. Now, they're not going to do a ton for you, not like they will on the island. Let me get just a little bit of berries. But, especially early game, like right when you first land, you can take and you can actually eat just a little bit of these berries. Here, watch my food and my water right here. And it will slowly go up, but the food is not really the big thing. What will happen is your water will slowly, over time, just increase. So if you need to do that little last bit of sprint, to get to a place safe, you absolutely can. So make sure in the early game that you're eating a whole bunch of berries just to kind of get you by and take the edge off. It does kind of help out quite a bit. All right, now with that said, now we're going to start talking about some of the engrams, because there's a bunch of different engrams that you really, really want, and you'll find these underneath the Scorched Earth section right here. All right, I'm not going to talk about bobs in this section. I'll talk about that one later if you guys have it. All right, so in Scorched Earth, there's a couple items that are extremely valuable. One is a tent, which you always want on you in case if you just get out in the weather, stuff like that. I mean, granted, the weather effects in ASE are not as damaging as they were in Ark Survival Evolved, but it is really easy to get out, get stuck in just a bad situation, and the only thing that will save you is just hop inside your tent and get rid of your heat stroke or whatever, so where you can get your breather and get back on track. Now, granted, over time, the tent will slowly start to damage itself, and you'll need to repair it, but as of right now, it's not super fast on how quickly the health of the tent goes down, but you can freely also pick it up whenever you want, so where you can move over onto the next area, and then if you need to, you can put it back down. All right, now here I'm going to knock out a couple really quick all together. Now, speaking of things that you want to be carrying with you at all times, there are several of them when it comes to Scorched Earth, and they are all very, very important. One is, I mean, granted, we already covered the whip. Now we already covered the tent. Now we're going to be covering the whip, because the whip is amazing for gathering stuff. Here, let me show you. Now, you can either gather by hand, but, I mean, when you got the whip, you don't really need to. Bam, we got all that. Plus, it also gathers fiber as well. And also, it's the easiest way of getting silk from these little purple flowers. Yeah, you can harvest it by hand, but why would you want to when you can just get so much more? It's really, really effective. So, yeah, carry a whip with you at all times. It will make a huge difference. And another thing, but this goes for anywhere when it comes to Ark Survival Evolved, carry bolas. I mean, seriously, carry bolas. Bolas will get you out of a jam, especially really early on in the early game. Bolas are just a lifesaver, but that goes for any map of Ark. So yeah. Now the next one is we're going to talk about boomerangs. I have entire videos where I went through and did nothing but taming with the boomerang. The boomerang is absolutely insane, and they do break, which is rather unfortunate, but you are able to knock out a whole bunch of stuff. They do a rather high amount of torpor damage, and it is really, really effective. Now, they will come back to you, and if you can, once you get the hang of getting these things to bounce back, you will actually be able to knock out just so much stuff with these things. It is really easy, really effective, and these things are super simple to craft as well. And just like that, that guy's out. We can tame him. So, yeah, use those boomerangs. These things are absolutely insane. They're so good, and yeah, I hope Wildcard doesn't change them because I mean, they are absolutely just amazing. I love the new boomerangs. They're so good. All right, the next thing I want to discuss is it's about this location right here, because the area of Scorched Earth, or the map of Scorched Earth, it is a very harsh and dangerous area. It is probably one of the most challenging ones to get started on, and that continues on with ASA, which honestly I think is really, really good. So, with that said, there's a couple different places on here where we'll give you a little bit of reprieve from the weather as you are first starting out, because you can adventure all over this map and find all sorts of cool stuff, but early game, you're gonna kind of be struggling with the elements and such. Now, if you build over here anywhere along this ravine, generally on the southern edge of the ravine, you're gonna have a little bit better time, because this place, it's more hidden from the elements as well. See, right here, it's only 25 degrees C at 10:30 in the morning. It's going to start getting a little bit warmer, but this place usually caps out about 35 C, even during heat waves, which is absolutely amazing. This spot is the Bob's area of the Scorched Earth. It is absolutely amazing, and it will help you out ton. Once you actually establish yourself and you're able to, start making bigger things, start doing full-blown bases, get better tames, everything like that, you can move it just about anywhere you want to on Scorched Earth, and you can make it work, especially if you understand how to get water and how the wind works and everything like that. But to start off early game, I would recommend start in the ravine. Once you're comfortable, branch out, go wherever you want, whatever place strikes your fancy, and then go there. But to start out, the ravine really, really helps out. All right, with that said, the next thing you need to be paying attention to is the wind, because the wind does help out when it comes to power generation, when it comes to wind turbines. Right here, we're at 65% wind. There are quite a few places where they do have 100% wind, and yeah, just keep an eye out for those. There's different areas that you can go to, and I just hopped on the wrong margin. There's different areas you can go to that will give you 100% wind. Just keep an eye out for them. Wherever you go, just pop open, press H, and then take a look at, how the wind is in that area. If it's 85%, 100%, just check that on the map so you know where it's at, so where you can go around and, use those for base locations later on. The next thing we're going to be talking about is loot drops. Yeah, everybody's favorite. Everybody loves loot drops, but yeah, pay very close attention to these things. These things are so good on Scorched Earth and also on the island, and they will give you a really big bump up. So as soon as you're able, I would recommend going around with, as soon as you get a nice disposable mount or something that can fly, go out, spend, you know, a good 4 or 5 hours just collecting a whole bunch of loot, let it gather in your base. It will give you a big leg up on getting started as well. But if you're on a land mount, I would recommend going out with something that is a little bit more expendable. If you're on a flyer, that's not as important, but things do die in Scorched Earth, and they die quickly. All right, now this little jerboa on my shoulder that is going off, he'll be going off in a second. There he goes. He's telling us something else. All right, he's telling us there is a weather event incoming, which goes to the next tip. Tame a jerboa. These guys, they're wicked cute. They're wicked cool. They will help you out quite a bit when it comes... Here he goes again. He will help you out quite a bit when it comes to finding out whenever the weather events are incoming. And there's 4 different weather events. There's the sandstorm, there's the thunderstorm, there's the rain, and then there's the heat wave. And they'll tell you when all of them are coming in, and it does help out quite a bit. You just knock these guys out the traditional way, same way you would a dodo on the island. You just knock them out, put some berries on them, and then you, once they're tame, you put them on their shoulder. Now, if you want their kibble actually just comes from harvesting up regular berry bushes. It is the plant species Y seed, and this right here is their kibble. It's really good for taming the higher level ones, especially. So yeah, if you're going to tame those, I'd recommend you use the plant species Y seeds. It's really good. All right, once you hit level 55, or if you're lucky enough to get one from a drop, you will eventually get a chainsaw. Now, I would recommend that you get one of these pretty early on if you can. You have to have a fabricator to set one up, which is why I don't have a chainsaw currently, because I'm being stubborn and I refuse to put down a fabricator in this location. That's on me. All right, but anyway, harvesting up just about anything with a chainsaw nets you a huge return on investment, because just harvesting up a tree with this, harvesting up sheep with this, harvesting up just about anything with this, you will get so many resources. So I would recommend get a chainsaw. If you don't find one on loot drops by the time you're 55, craft one. They help out quite a bit. I'm just being stubborn, which is why I have to show you it on the engrams page here, because, yeah, I've got my own issues to work through on that. All right, but good luck. All right, next one here is, make sure that as you are leveling up that you are paying very close attention to fortitude. Now, Scorched Earth is a different map than the island. On the island, I would recommend going up to about 30 fortitude, kind of chilling, maybe getting a whole bunch of weight, getting some stamina, a little bit of health maybe, stuff like that. On Scorched Earth, I would recommend fortitude, and then stamina, then health. That is the way I would level things up. Once you get these up to a nice stat, then you start leveling up weight. Kind of in that order. Maybe get weight up to about 250, just to give you that little edge, and then start going up a bit. But health and stamina and fortitude are the primary stats for this map. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Yeah. All right, for quick and easy water, if you actually, if you have Umbrella Tops, you can actually just walk up to it and you can have it drink water. Or, well, you can have a drink of water from your Umbrella Tops. Or you can actually go and you can have it fill up whatever water tank you have in your inventory. It is really, really good. All right, and then also another thing you can do, I'm sorry I don't have anything I could show you, but you can actually take these water jars or the canteens and you can put them in a refrigerator, and they will actually, over the course of time, it will turn them ice cold. Once they're ice cold, you can actually take them out and it'll give you a cold debuff that protects you against the superheat when you're out and about. The cold on the canteen or the water jar, it doesn't last forever, so don't expect it to. But if you can get it within that window, it'll give you a really nice buff to help you out against the superheat. Okay, now with Scorched Earth, yeah, granted, you can get wyverns and stuff like that, but I would recommend, get the wyvern. Wyverns are amazing, but don't forget about the other flyers. You know, the Tapajaras, the Argents. These guys, they still have quite a bit of uses, especially for doing things like metal runs and stuff like that. And then also Tapajara. Tapajara is actually one of the easiest ways of getting your first egg when it comes to wyverns. Tapper jars make the Wyvern Trench on ASA Scorched Earth very, very simple. So, yeah. They'll help out quite a bit. But also the Argents, when it comes around to gathering metal, I mean, seriously, forget about it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, especially for carrying things. So don't skimp on making sure you pay attention to the Argents as well, because Argents, they're on this map for a reason, and they help out tremendously. All right, so those are the tips for Scorched Earth ASA that for the vanilla game. But now we're going to start getting into a couple of the Bob's ones, because the Bob's Tall Tales, they actually come with a few extra things. And I wanted to put this at the end of the video because I don't want it. I don't want the video to actually feel like I'm like, hey, get Bob's Tall Tales. Being granted, I have it, and a lot of people I know do, but it's not required in any way. It just has its perks for having it. All right, now one of the things we're going to discuss is the shovel. These things are absolutely amazing. They're great because over the course of playing the game, you will eventually just get treasure maps from harvesting up different dinos, and especially in the caves. I've noticed I have a theory, because the higher level in the caves, I think the amount of the quality and the amount of treasure maps you get might be tied to the level of the creatures. I haven't verified this yet, but I'm working on the for science of it. But I do tend to get a few more extra in the caves. But as you get the treasure maps, or if you're just out and about, you can just dig, and you can make a water spout to help you get drinkable water just about anywhere. Shovel is very, very handy. It really, really helps out. All right, one of the next things I want to talk about is the coffin. It's actually a bed that you can place just about anywhere. Yeah, it's no foundation required. You can just put it anywhere you want to. It's like a sleeping bag, but in bed form. Very, very handy. If you're playing on a single player, I would recommend you make up a whole bunch of these. You just put them strategically around the map wherever you need to. It's its own little respawn shack, just right there. Very, very handy. All right, and the last one I want to talk about, yeah, there are water reservoirs and stuff like that, but the windmill, this right here, it actually slows the amount of damage that your regular electronics or your generators take during storms. So this will actually help out quite a bit. So make sure you're paying close attention to that wind, put this down, but if you don't want to build like that, and you just want to build with a regular generator, make sure you have one of those. It will help out quite a bit. The windmill right here, it helps out quite a bit with protecting your stuff. So pay very close attention to that. All right, but anyway, that's the tips and tricks. There's a whole bunch more, but honestly, these are the best ones that I can think of to actually help out with the early game, and then as you progress into the later game. So hey, I hope the video helped you out. I hope some of the tips helped you out. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Phlinger, and take it easy, everybody.